Here we go.
Now let's bring on the Mountaineers. Goes around about after 50, the 10 to 5. A touchdown with Virginia. He did it.
He did it. Left with White. Peterson. He's gone. Touchdown. Tavon Austin.
As the hills of West Virginia resound with the sounds of Golden Blue football.
They want to have a 7-on-7 drill. We want to make it a fist fight. Nothing cheap, nothing dirty, but West Virginia football.
From the heart, streaming. It's Mountaineer pride. Leave no doubt tonight. No doubt. They shouldn't have played the old Golden Blue.
West Virginia is a special place. People are the state that have great pride in this WV logo.
Ain't no stopping the Golden Blue.
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome into another live stream here on the CRW channel. Special edition here, emergency edition, I guess you could say. Yesterday, we were here talking about the bowl game projections for West Virginia. There have been a lot of them coming from many different sources, but I don't think anyone would have guessed where West Virginia ends up as the Big 12 kind of executes a trade there. The SEC doesn't have enough spots. This was first reported by Mike Kazaz. I got to give credit where it's due here. He broke this on Twitter first. I think there's an article up on 247 Sports, but let me share this information with you guys. It's kind of where we're at right now. West Virginia looking good for the Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte against an ACC team. He says here in this one, probably either UNC or Clemson. I think he adds some other teams to that later on. You might ask how, because obviously that's not one of the Big 12's bowl slots. You know, we were expecting either Texas Bowl, Liberty Bowl, guaranteed rate, Pop-Tarts, you know, one of those that the Big 12 traditionally has. But however, the Big 12 has an extra bowl-eligible team. The SEC doesn't have enough bowl-eligible teams, so there's a slot there available. West Virginia is going to fill that slot to play an ACC team there in Charlotte. All but confirmed now. There you see Mike Kazaza first reporting it there on Twitter. Absolutely love this draw for West Virginia. I think that this is great news. I was a little bit worried when it was looking like we weren't going to land in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Didn't want the Independents, didn't want the Birmingham, anything like that. I think we talked about that during the projections, but I think all in all, this was an excellent draw for West Virginia. Get to play an ACC opponent. We'll see who that is. That's yet to be announced. But you're also playing in Charlotte. West Virginia fans will fill that stadium. They played there before. Obviously, you know, most recently, probably that game against Tennessee comes to mind. But I'm thinking back, you know, Meineke Car Care Bowl, Pat White's last game played in that stadium. I went to that one. It was really fun. Might try and get to this one too, depending on how it shakes out. But like this draw for West Virginia, but want to hear your all's opinions as well. Drop your thoughts there in the chat, questions, comments, concerns about West Virginia's bowl game. How are you feeling about this draw for the Mountaineers? Heading to the Duke's Mayo Bowl, playing in Charlotte, North Carolina, and it will be on December 27th, and it's a 5:30 Eastern kick there. So glad to hear this announcement for West Virginia. Now we await to hear who the opponent will be, and there are some options for that. I see Chris Burdett here in the chat asking, and he names a couple there that, of course, were the two Mike Kazaza mentioned in the original tweet. I definitely think that either one of those is a strong possibility. But also, you know, I think that he adds here, let me see if I can share this next tweet from Kazaza here. He says, I'll add that Louisville is a possibility too. The ACC is going to have a say in the matchup, but the Mountaineers are in line to be the opponent. So pretty much confirming it there. December 27th game, 5:30 p.m. kick, as I said there. So, you know, interesting. Trying to keep an update on Twitter here as we scroll, make sure no opponent has been announced yet. Still looking here, scrolling real quick. Don't see anything yet as far as an announcement on an opponent for West Virginia or even confirmation yet from Duke's Mayo Bowl. Let me refresh their Twitter page as well, see if they have put anything out since we started here. No, still their last tweet's that making sausage tweet they put out, whatever that means. And then, of course, the thinking emoji. I think a lot of people retweeted that one. But, I did pull up their official bowl page to share this as well. If you guys want to check this out, you can. If you search Duke's Mayo Bowl, it'll come up. But it's charlottesports.org and kind of gives you information about the event. You can go on there and get tickets now. Obviously, West Virginia is pretty much all but confirmed. You might want to wait till they officially announce it if you're not a risk taker, but I think it's pretty safe bet this is West Virginia's destination with all the reporting coming out. And as you can see, traditionally, ACC versus SEC, but the Big 12 filling that SEC spot, West Virginia traded into there to face that ACC opponent. And yet again, December 27th, 5:30 kick, Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, which extra good for me. I'm a Panthers fan, which is something that's probably embarrassing to admit currently with the sad state of affairs with that organization, but it is what it is. West Virginia at least had a winning season and is going to a good bowl game. I like this draw for West Virginia, but as I said, be sure let me know your all's thoughts. We'll keep an update on it here. See if there's any more news coming out really quickly. Here's something from Brett McMurphy, actually just came out about 10 minutes ago. So this may be why we don't know West Virginia's opponent yet. He says, first, Florida State gets snubbed from the playoff. Now ACC bowls in a holding pattern as bowls are battling over Notre Dame, NC State, Louisville, Clemson, North Carolina, Miami, and Virginia Tech, sources told Action Network. So, there's some potential opponents, West Virginia could play. I don't think it would be Notre Dame. I definitely think any of the bottom ones there are probably, Louisville, Clemson, North Carolina, NC State, Virginia Tech are all possibilities for West Virginia to play in this bowl game. Obviously, I think Virginia Tech's probably going to be the favorite for people, get the, not the backyard brawl, excuse me, battle for the Black Diamond Trophy in a bowl game. That would be fun. West Virginia put that back on the line, and I would like that matchup. Two good rushing offenses. Virginia Tech's rushing offense came on late in the year with Drones at quarterback and Tootin, I believe is the name there at running back. So that would be a good matchup between running teams. NC State, I like that one as well. Obviously, the storyline with Tony Gibson being the defensive coordinator at NC State, and of course, West Virginia having Devin Carter on the roster, the former NC State wide receiver. There'd be some interesting storylines with that matchup. But I would rather not play, a North Carolina team in their home state, but I don't think it will really matter. Like I said, West Virginia is really going to turn out to this bowl game with it being in Charlotte now. I'm expecting us to have some, really good fan support at the bowl game, regardless of even if it's playing a North Carolina team or a South Carolina team like Clemson. Clemson is the one that worries me a little bit, not because I don't think West Virginia can play with Clemson. I think that would be a interesting matchup as well. Clemson has a strong rushing offense. Maffa really came on. They were giving him 30-plus carries late in the season, but I think I've talked about it before. I've got a good friend of the show, Mikey Lawless, is a great Clemson fan, been a huge fan of them as long as I've known him since we were younger. Went to their national championship game, the first one they won there. And the only reason that I say I'm weary of that matchup, though, is just because the last time we played them in a bowl game, how it turned out, you don't think Dabo is going to be, motivated to reverse that result. That's definitely something that would come into play. But I still think West Virginia would battle with any of these teams that they could potentially play in this Duke's Mayo Bowl. But how are you guys feeling? Let me know about your thoughts on this bowl game, and who would you like to see West Virginia play most in this bowl game? Who do you think they match up best with in this Duke's Mayo Bowl? While I take a swig of my water real quick, and then I will see if we got any other news. Well, we do have a new tweet from Duke's Mayo Bowl, but nothing of note, really. They put out, what's your favorite color? 3 minutes ago. A lot of West Virginia fans chiming in, obviously. Going to probably be a interesting announcement to see who we play. But obviously, we're waiting on the ACC to come through. But, I wanted to wait around and see who we'd play. Maybe we'll go live again later if it's announced tonight on who West Virginia plays. But, I won't stick around too much longer. But I wanted to come on here, announce West Virginia's bowl game since we came on here and, previewed it yesterday. I said that I would report on it once it happened. So once it's all but official, West Virginia playing in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, wanted to come on here and, let you guys know about it, chat with you guys, get your all's thoughts on this, and maybe your all's opinion on who you would like to match up with from the ACC there, that list of teams. I know Chris Burdett mentioned Clemson, North Carolina. Seems like those are near the top of the list. Maybe Louisville's up there as well. That'd be a good matchup. But the best thing about it is West Virginia's playing a Power 5 opponent for one. I mean, if it ends up being NC State or Louisville, that's probably a ranked opponent you're going to be playing in a bowl game. If you win that game, you beat a Power 5 opponent for your 9th win of the season. You're going to certainly end the year in the top 25. That'll get that, off of Neil Brown's back, the fact that he hasn't been ranked yet, and that would really build a lot of momentum going into next season. So I'm super thrilled about West Virginia's bowl game draw and how this shook out, because that's what I was hoping for most in this bowl game, was to have a matchup that would move the needle a little bit. I wasn't really wanting to play a group of 5 team, or I think Air Force was another one that was reported on. Didn't want to play another service academy after we had played them in one of our most recent bowl games. I was hoping for a matchup against the Power 5 team. I think last night I was talking about the Texas Bowl against Texas A&M. Would have been cool because that's an SEC opponent. But here, I think it's even better because it's closer. Our fans can travel to this game in Charlotte. You get a Power 5 opponent from the ACC, maybe someone you have some history with even. And if you beat that team, you're going to end the year with 9 wins, ranked in the final top 25, and really have a lot of momentum heading into next season, where you potentially have a lot of pieces returning and going to hopefully add some really good pieces in the transfer portal as well. So I think this is one of the best draws West Virginia possibly could have gotten, and obviously one that no one saw coming, given this is not a traditional Big 12 bowl slot that West Virginia lands here. In the Duke's Mayo Bowl, traditionally reserved for ACC versus SEC matchups, but SEC, not enough slots. Big 12, too many slots. West Virginia gets traded over. We'll face an ACC team in a good matchup geographically for our fan base to be able to travel to. So, like I said, head over to that Duke's Mayo Bowl website if you want to get a jump start on some tickets. I'm sure West Virginia fans are going to be trying to do just that now with a close in proximity bowl matchup, and I'm expecting us to really have a good turnout with that one. Check one more time, make sure nothing else has been announced, and then I will hop up off here before too much longer. If you guys don't want to add anything else here or have any other thoughts on the Duke's Mayo Bowl or a potential opponent for West Virginia or anything else you guys want to talk about there in the chat. I see the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Kansas versus UNLV has been announced. Just saw that one. But yeah, West Virginia, Duke's Mayo Bowl, guys. That's what we are excited about, and we'll see who they play. It's an ACC opponent. Could be Clemson, North Carolina State, Virginia Tech. Either way, I think it's going to be a really fun matchup, and be sure to follow along with us here on the Country Roads webcast. We will report more on it once the opponent is officially announced, just who from the ACC West Virginia will be playing in Charlotte on December 27th for the bowl game there with the 5:30 kick there. Duke's Mayo Bowl, the winning coach getting showered in some mayonnaise, so might get to see Neil Brown showered in some mayo, hopefully, and West Virginia finish the year with 9 wins and ranked in the top 25. Has a realistic possibility of happening now. That's what I'm excited most about with this matchup that can really build some momentum heading into 2024. We'll see just who that is. Follow us here at the CRW. Be sure to subscribe to us if you haven't already. Helps us, helps you, helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Appreciate everyone that hopped in here for this short little live stream update. If you are in here live, or even if you're watching on a playback, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. That helps us a ton, helps us hit the YouTube algorithm. And like I said, we'll come back later once the opponent's announced, maybe talk a little bit more about this bowl game and some upcoming off-season topics for West Virginia. We got some transfer portal things to talk about and stuff like that. So we'll be back to chat with you guys again soon here on the Country Roads webcast. Excuse me. I'm so excited about this bowl game. Can't even get the channel name out here on the Country Roads webcast, of course. But really excited for this bowl game. Hope you guys are also. I've been looking forward to seeing just who the opponent will be, and we'll be talking about that in the near future. Hope everyone's having a great Sunday, and hope it continues to be a great one for you throughout the rest of the day here. West Virginia heading to the Duke's Mayo Bowl on December 27th. Surprising destination, but a pleasant surprise at that for this 2023 West Virginia Football Club that will head there with 8 wins, hoping to leave out with 9 and end the year in the top 25. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, I'm Jordan Cruz. And until next time, let's go Mountaineers.